How's it going, everybody? My name is Rinzler here, back again for another video, and welcome back to my KBW series. Today is the absolute final video in this series for the time being. Now, KBW, Kids Backyard Wrestling, defined me and a lot of other people's childhoods and was a great alternative to some of the higher products like WWE and TNA because KBW was always very character driven and it had some pretty good wrestling despite being backyard wrestling, which typically is pretty poor. And in my opinion, KBW deserves a lot more love, even though it's technically been gone for 3 years. But why did KBW end the way it did? During the peak of its popularity, it had hundreds of thousands of viewers regularly, and some of its extremely popular videos crossed over into the millions territory. A lot of people found it to be surprising that KBW became inactive and kind of an afterthought. So, what happened to KBW? This is discussing the rise and fall of KBW, and in my opinion, this is the most fitting way for me to end the KBW series. I've already done so many videos talking about the individual wrestlers that made up the company, but now it's time to talk about the company itself. So without further ado, this is the rise and fall of Kids Backyard Wrestling, or KBW. KBW was first formed in 2010, where it actually didn't have any particular name. It was simply labeled as Trampoline Wrestling and featured a bunch of kids wrestling under the names of established WWE superstars, such as Rey Mysterio, Edge, The Undertaker, and Jeff Hardy. The only one on the roster that used the name of his own creation was Cage, a smug, self-confident heel who was better at talking and wrestling than everyone else, and he knew it. But behind the scenes, Cage was a passionate wrestling fan, having been watching wrestling since the Attitude Era and also being a fan of both WWE and TNA simultaneously. Cage saw the potential of backyard wrestling's popularity, especially as WWE and TNA's product began to wane significantly at the beginning of the 2010s. He wanted to give the fans that alternative character-driven wrestling program that WWE and TNA had failed to live up to in recent years. So he took the popularity of the WWE parody-based videos and turned it into a proper show called Kids Backyard Wrestling, or KBW for short. On the show's debut episode, he unveiled the World Extreme Championship and introduced it as the top title in the company. Likely to hide the limitations of the performers, all the matches took place under no disqualification rules during the first 3 seasons of the company's existence. As you guys all know, season 1 was it was well, it wasn't exactly a great first okay, I'm just going to say it was a terrible season. It was a really bad first season. Cage's vision for KBW wasn't realized during the course of season 1. Many of the roster members didn't stick around past this season. The commentary was poor, the camera shaking made things hard to enjoy and understand, and overall, apart from Cage and D-Man, nobody felt like they were taking the company very seriously. It felt like a bunch of kids messing around. Luckily, Cage saw the failures of season 1 and decided to change things around in the show's second outing. The annoying younger commentator was thankfully replaced by the deeper voiced Justin Williamson, who also doubled as a cameraman and lasted throughout the rest of the company's existence. The World Extreme title was officially deactivated in between seasons, with the Undisputed title being brought in to replace it. Let it be known now that all championships going through KBW from this point on were toy replicas of established WWE championship belts. Cage came up with the brilliant idea to highlight the best wrestlers in the company, himself and AK-47, in a lengthy season-long feud. It was because of this feud that Cage and AK essentially became like living legends in the backyard wrestling community. Season 1 failed to keep a hold of the popularity that the WWE parody videos brought in, but Season 2 not only brought those fans back, but grew a stronger fan base in the process. Backyard wrestling at this point was a niche fan base due to the untrained, extreme, and violent nature of it that turned most people off. But KBW proved that backyard wrestling can work with less of a focus on violence and more of a focus on character-driven storylines and actual wrestling. Weapon usage was generally kept to a minimum despite all matches being no DQ. Those who stuck around past season 1 were usually put in matches involving the now established Cage and AK-47. This was a genius decision as it hid the flaws of these wrestlers and made them look like the stars of tomorrow. During the season, the World Heavyweight Championship would be introduced, and the Undisputed title would become the company's first mid-card title. This goes to show how strong and dependable KBW's roster was becoming as the season progressed. The season also ended perfectly with a strong first pay-per-view outing for KBW, featuring an awesome Money in the Bank ladder match, which is unfortunately now deleted, which didn't involve Cage or AK-47 at all. It was sort of like a test to see how much these mid-carders had learned, whether they could operate without them involved. They ended up killing it, and up until its deletion was considered to be one of the greatest backyard wrestling matches of all time. But even that match paled in comparison to Cage and AK-47's epic Falls Count Anywhere Iron Man clash, which was a match to end all matches. Crazy spots, epic character work, versatility, grappling, submissions, high-flying maneuvers, and an epic twist to end it off made Season 2's ending perfect. It was a Season 2 that KBW... It was in Season 2, that KBW finally found its identity and fan base, and Cage's initial dream in 2010 had now finally been realized. Season 3 began in late 2012 and was, in many people's opinions, including my own, KBW's finest season. Gone was the necessity of having Cage or AK-47 involved in every match and storyline. The roster really did begin to grow into their roles and began having some truly outstanding clashes with each other. These mini-feuds between mid-carders helped to make KBW feel like a proper company with lots going on at the same time. Combine this with the epic twist to Season 2's finale, growing into the equally epic Renegade Invasion storyline, the debut of new championships for a bigger roster, some much-needed color and vibrancy, and great matches made Season 3 the defining season of the company's history. New fans were being made nearly every day, and many other backyard wrestling companies began to take notice and all tried to copy KBW's formula because it worked so well. So many talents besides just Cage and AK were able to break out during this season, including Pac-Man, Bomba Kid, Bulldozer, Paul Wall, D-Man, and CJ. Not to mention, AK-47's brilliant heel turn led to the established roles of Season 2 being reversed, and a new side to the top two guys in the company being unveiled. This double turn helped legitimize these two as versatile main event performers, and Cage was finally able to basically play himself on camera, fighting the Renegades with the heart and soul of the company that he created, shedding his normal black and trading it in for green, while AK became the most detestable man on the roster. What a season. Season 4 upgraded KBW even further, introducing a second commentator named Mike the Dr. Goodman, a series of referees with nicknames, proper rules in all the matches, an adult general manager named Mr. O, and a more proper uploading schedule, with episodes now being released every Sunday and Wednesday. The Sunday episodes were essentially reserved for the main event feuds, and was basically KBW's equivalent to Raw, whilst the Wednesday episodes were reserved for the mid-carders and the tag teams. This allowed even more of a focus on individual roster members and helped KBW feel bigger than ever. This also did a good job hiding Cage and AK-47's lack of appearances, as they had become so popular that not only were they representing KBW in crossover events with other backyard wrestling promotions, but they were also getting real independent booking opportunities, with Cage becoming the masked Fuego del Sol and AK-47 keeping his same name and persona from KBW. However, KBW would soon put on their absolute best pay-per-view event, Bloodthirsty 2, the sequel of their first ever pay-per-view in Season 2. This pay-per-view had it all, a third Money in the Bank outing, showing how much stronger KBW's mid-card had grown. The last Money in the Bank showed a teaser for the Stars of Tomorrow, while this ladder match showed how they were now the Stars of Today. It showed how much KBW really had grown in the last year and a half. This pay-per-view also featured a dream match between Paul Wall and Bulldozer, a first-time ever collision between KBW's biggest and strongest, and the pay-per-view ended off with the first one-on-one match between Cage and AK-47 since their awesome Falls Count Anywhere Iron Man match in Season 2. The match was contested under leather strap rules, with Cage now the good guy and AK now the cocky heel. This match also showed how much KBW had grown. The following night, Cage and AK fought one-on-one for the very last time in the company's existence, with Cage finally beating AK clean for the World Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, it was all downhill for the company from here. With Cage and AK's infrequent appearances, the company began to feel a bit empty. Episodes of KBW TV stopped occurring as regularly as before. There was a notable 2 months between episodes 12 and 13, and then nearly a year between episode 13 of Season 4 and episode 1 of Season 5. It should also be acknowledged that Season 4 was only 18 videos long, while Season 3 had been 48 videos long. Something was clearly amiss. When Cage When Cage finally acknowledged the lack of uploads and admitted KBW was ending, the fans were very sad, but it was understandable, and a lot of people had been predicting it. AK and Cage were now in their late teens. They couldn't be labeled kids anymore, and KBW does stand for Kids Backyard Wrestling after all. Season 5 would end up being the end of KBW, with the season ending with longtime rivals Cage and AK-47 embracing each other as friends and brothers, and the camera clicked off for the very last time. The channel remained open for Cage to upload episodes of his vlog series, and AK used the channel to promote his new career as a gamer. KBW was regularly featured in Best in the Yard, an annual backyard crossover event that is the backyard wrestling equivalent of WrestleMania, but KBW itself remained dead as promised, or so we thought. In 2017, AK-47 decided to begin making KBW videos every time his channel achieved 1,000 subscribers. These open challenges brought back fan favorites such as the Bulldozer, Hazard, and Bomba Kid, but Bulletproof Games has been stuck between 3,000 and 4,000 subs for a while now, which sucks because AK is actually a very talented gamer who I think is fun to watch outside of his normal wrestling environment. I was especially surprised with the depth of his Telltale Games The Walking Dead series, which I binged in no time at all. So if you like AK-47, then Bulletproof Games really needs your help. Last summer, KBW uploaded a match between Bomba Kid and Pac-Man, which was supposed to be a teaser for a full-on Season 6 that was supposed to be filmed last summer, but no word has since come of it. A Season 6 would admittedly be hard to do, as all the wrestlers would have to be tracked down, and many might not agree to a full-fledged return. I've heard ideas of possibly forming a second company called Adults Backyard Wrestling, or ABW, to feature the established talent, while KBW creates the stars of the future. Who knows what will happen, but I do know that KBW is something I'm proud I had in my childhood, and I hope that this series helps people remember the great things about this great company and helps others find the show that they might never knew that they needed. I hope KBW themselves see these videos one day because I have nothing but respect for them and would love to see a full-on Season 6. As it stands, KBW may never return, but I'm okay with that because KBW was a big part of me and a lot of other people's childhoods, and while it might not have been for everybody, it was definitely something for me and a lot of other people to enjoy. Thank you guys for watching this video and this entire series. It has been an absolute honor talking about Kids Backyard Wrestling in as many videos as I have. It was an honor to make videos about so many different wrestlers on the roster like Cage, AK-47, Bomba Kid, D-Man, the Renegades, the Bulldozer, Pac-Man, and Paul Wall. It was an honor to talk about all those guys in videos, and I enjoyed making every video I ever made about KBW. I actually made extra KBW videos talking, like where I ranked the seasons or whatever, because I didn't want this series to end. It really does suck that my Batman series and my KBW series have to end on the same week, because I really enjoyed making videos on both of those series, but I suppose that this is a sign that a new beginning might be on the horizon for the Rinzler network. I'm not sure, though. We'll just have to see in the future where things go. But as it stands, my Batman series ended this past Monday or Sunday. I forgot which day it was. And today the KBW series comes to a close as well. It's been an honor talking about KBW, and I promise that I will redo this entire series if a Season 6 is made. Of course, if a Season 6 is made, I'm not planning on making more episodes until that season is over, so I don't have to keep redoing them. Like, if they make like an episode 1 of Season 6, and then I made a video right afterwards, then I would just have to redo the video after they made episode 2. So if Season 6 ever happens and I don't start making videos for this series again right away, then that's why, because I'll be waiting until the season is over to redo this series. But as I mentioned, there is a possibility that Season 6 just might never happen. But I'm okay with that because I had a lot of fun talking about this series, and I had a lot of fun watching these videos again. So thank you guys for watching this video and this entire series. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Share this video with all of your friends and family on all of your various social media platforms. Ring that notification bell and let me know in the comments down below what you think what I did and didn't do so good. And I will see all you dudes and chicks in the next video.